Hello everyone and welcome to another What I Think Review Who Big Finish. Although this one is going to be a little bit different to how I would normally do it because I'm not actually going to be reviewing the story today. I'm going to be reviewing the disc that I have received for the Once and Future Past Lives Special Edition disc release. Now, this is part one. The reason this is part one is because I'm going to raise a few things in this that I don't necessarily have a response or answer to. Part two will be a follow-up reviewing said answered queries if I get an answer, and a few other things that I've got to say because I want to review this disc because I feel that there are several issues with this that need to be addressed. As many of you will know who've seen my reviews, I like to review things fairly, both the positives and negatives, and I feel that doing this review is a good way, in a constructive criticism way. I want to make that very clear. I'm not trying to be needlessly critical. I am going to try and propose solutions and my thoughts, you know, so I'm not just having a go. I want to actually try and be constructive with this. To make these constructive criticisms for these points that need raising, because as a consumer I feel like I'm valid in raising these because this is something that I've bought, it's something that I've paid money for, and it is something which I feel does need to be addressed. Very quickly, I will just say, in terms of the actual story for Past Lives, loved it, absolutely superb. Loved Artist at the End of the World as well, because I listened to that recently because that came out. I would highly recommend getting these stories. I do not have a single bad word to say about the stories themselves. They are wonderful, wonderfully written, wonderfully made, wonderfully performed. Please go and check them out. They are absolutely well worth listening to. But today, as I said, we're here to talk about this disc release. So this is the special edition of Past Lives, which is limited to 3,000 pressings, now all sold out. And first things first, I want to read an update that Big Finish themselves have released on their website, because there was an issue regarding the cover on this, and it is, and I quote, "Update 9th of June 2023. We are aware that the CD packaging for Once and Future Past Lives Special Edition is not as originally advertised. We are working on getting replacement sleeves featuring an embossed logo and numbering. We apologise for the inconvenience and further delays in shipping this product. Please bear with us while we rectify this mistake." Now, I want to read that out because I want to give Big Finish their full credit that they've recognised that there's an issue and that they are working to resolve it. That's exactly the kind of thing that I like to hear from them, and I'm hoping as well that it is that kind of attitude that is going to be adopted if they see this review or this review is watched in regards to the issues that I'm going to raise. And the first issue, and I hope this comes up on camera, is you might be able to see across the front here this case is cracked, sadly. Now, I know that they're more than happy to do replacements and things like that if I contact them, but I don't really want a replacement because I want to raise why this has happened. And the reason this has happened is that this was packaged in just a jiffy bag. Now, I would determine that as what I would determine as inadequate packaging because it offers little to no protection to what is effectively a delicate item. And I do feel that that is the reason why that this case has gotten cracked, is that it has been packaged inadequately. I am sorry to say this is not the first time I've had this issue, and I know that I am also not the only person to have ever had this issue with Big Finish. The fact that they are willing to make replacements is great, although on that note I have to query what exactly they're going to replace. Are they just going to send out another case? Because these are limited to 3,000 pressings. They have already all been sold out, which means they're either going to, if they're sending out the whole thing again, they are going to be replacing something that they've already stopped pressing, which means they're going to have to make more pressings. So if this hadn't just cracked the case and this would say ripped the insert and things like that, would they make new inserts to send out? You know, there's a query there. Again, I don't have the answer to it, but it's a query that I think is worth raising. But again, if they were going to send out a new case, how are they going to stop the case shattering or cracking in the same way if they're going to send it out in the same way, for one? And for two, the fact that I'm not the only person to have had this issue in the past, and they know it's an issue, I have to query why they haven't changed their packaging. And I understand that they've got to keep package costs low. I understand postage costs and things like that. Also using green packaging that can be recycled and reused. I completely understand that. But I have to query, when you know there is an issue with your packaging, why have you not changed that and made it more secure? Because it is not a good message to send out to your customers if they know that they might be getting things damaged. As I said, I've had this issue before myself, but I think it is something which just needs to be addressed. You know, if it's going to cost a little bit more to do packaging in, say, a more sturdy cardboard or even just a small box or something like that. I mean, I'm using a small box to prop up this CD, you know, just something that's even just a little bit bigger than that, because that is a box that can be recycled. You know, it might cost a little bit more, but personally I would be prepared to pay a little bit more postage cost towards packaging if I knew the product would arrive to me in the condition that I would expect it to arrive in and not damaged as it is here. As I said, you know, I want to try and make this constructive, and you know, I said I want to give full understanding to Big Finish that I appreciate the you know, inflation of things and package costs and things like that, but at the end of the day, your customers deserve a bit better when you know that your packaging isn't always adequate. That's you know, something that I do feel I want to say on that point. But now we're going to get on to looking at the actual CD itself, or what we get in this. So obviously we know we're already missing an embossed sleeve cover. If we open it up, obviously we've got the CD. Under the CD we've got a little advertisement, which is always good to see. And then cover-wise, what we have here, I'll try and get this out carefully. So bear with me a second, while I just move these things out of the way. Whoops. So what we have here is a fold-out cover, which obviously if we fold it out, you can see it's got production notes on there. It's also got some notes from the author on the back. We've got the cover, and then if we open it up the right way, we have this wonderful retro poster. I absolutely adore this. I love it. It's very sort of Hammer horror. I believe all the others are going to come with one of these as well. I am absolutely going to get all of these framed. I love them and adore them, and it is so superb to see. But the problem with this now, there's two problems with this in fact. The problem with this is now there is no cover for this disc, and obviously I'm going to, you know, put it in my shelf that way around, so I'm not going to see it, but it's still, it's a little bit annoying that there's going to be no cover on it. The second thing that I want to talk about is on the Big Finish website. It says one of the things that this disc comes with, the special edition CD release, is an 8-page, I will quote this, an 8-page fold-out booklet featuring author's notes and a B-movie style poster. Now we already know the cover, the embossed cover with the numbering is missing. I am really hoping that this booklet is something else that is missing. I have already sent a query to Big Finish about this, asking for clarification, but I have a worry that this is what they're counting as the 8-page fold-out booklet, because if you fold it out, you've got 8 squares counting both sides. Now, I would not call this an 8-page fold-out booklet. I would call this a fold-out info sheet and poster, because, okay, now let me clarify this more. Alright, this is a fold-out info sheet and poster featuring 2 pages of production notes, 1 page of author's notes, and the cover. Now, I want to make it clear here as well, if the CD, if the booklet is also something that has been missed out, then I'm wrong here. I want to make that very clear, and I will rectify that in part 2 if the booklet does turn up. Because as I said, I've queried this to Big Finish, but my horrible suspicion is that this is what they're calling an 8-page fold-out booklet. And I really hope that's not the case, because if it is, that is extremely disappointing. Because this is certainly not what I would describe as an 8-page fold-out booklet. As I said, I could be completely wrong on that front. I really hope I am. And if that is the case, I look forward to reviewing the proper 8-page fold-out booklet when it arrives. Now, the last thing that I would like to talk about in this is what's actually included on the disc of this special edition. Now, I don't have the standard edition disc or the digital standard edition. If anybody does, by all means correct anything that I'm about to say if I am wrong in regards to that version, because I don't have it. But going by what Big Finish is saying on their own website, the standard edition includes the story, edited interviews, and digital copies of both artworks. I'm going to come back to the both artworks at the end, because actually that's one of the last things I want to talk about. I've just remembered. The special edition download comes with the story, extended interviews of up to 30 minutes, a music suite, and all 3 covers. The special edition disc comes with the story, extended interviews of 15 minutes, which are on the disc, artwork with the embossed logo, which is, we know, to be sent out later. That's being rectified. The 8-page fold-out booklet, I've already said my piece on that, hopefully I'm wrong there. And obviously it comes with a mini poster, which is part of the booklet. That is what is on the disc. Now, the special edition download, as I said, comes with extended interviews of 30 minutes and the music suite. Because I've bought the disc version, I've also got access to the special edition download version, which has come with... So, the disc version has extended interviews of 15 minutes. The digital version has extended interviews of 30 minutes. The disc version does not have the music suite. The special edition download does have the music suite. And as I said, I have gained access to those by buying the special edition disc version. But I do have to query why the extended interviews of 30 minutes and the music suite are not included on the disc version. Now, the obvious answer is because there is limited space on the disc version. That's why the extended interviews are 15 minutes on the disc version. But if I was, for a special edition release of a disc, I would have expected to have had the extended interviews of 30 minutes and the music suite from the digital edition on another disc. I would have thought this would have been at least 2 discs for that reason, because at the end of the day I've bought a special edition disc, but most of these special edition features I have got are digital. They're not actually included on the thing that I've bought. And as I said, the extended interviews, the music suite, and the covers, which is the final thing that I want to talk about in this. Because cover-wise, this comes with, obviously this is the special edition cover that is not in the standard edition. But the standard edition comes with 2 other digital covers. It comes with the actual main cover that is on it, and then it also comes with an era-specific cover, which has obviously the era-specific logo. Obviously, the special edition digital version also comes with those covers, so I do have those covers, but I have them digitally. And I have to query why those, at least one of those covers, the alternate cover with the diamond logo on it, the 60-year logo, couldn't have been included on a slip that could have just been reversible. A single page slip that could have just been a reversible cover in the special edition version. So you could have had the special edition cover, or you could have had the standard cover. I don't understand why that couldn't have been done. Again, I understand and I appreciate production costs and keeping costs down and things like that. But for a special edition, you're leaving out something from the standard edition. The standard edition has the standard cover. The special edition has the special edition cover. You would expect that, but I would also have expected the special edition to come with the standard cover. Yes, it does come with it digitally, but I would have expected it in the disc version. Now, obviously, we've also got the poster, the fold-out poster, which I would have said you could have still included, because something that was raised to me was if you had a reversible single slip cover, it would have been a bit more difficult to fit in the poster as well, and I can see where they're coming from on that. But assuming that the 8-page fold-out booklet is not this, and again, I really hope it's not, what this means is you would have been trying to have put this poster, the 8-page fold-out booklet, into this disc as well, which would have taken up more space. So that's another reason why I'm really worried that this is the fold-out booklet, because it meant that they didn't have to worry about having an extra slip for the case. But what I would have done, and I've mocked this up to show what I would have done, because I think this is a perfectly valid way of doing it, and you would have probably been able, well, I'm actually going to, let's see, I will do this as an experiment, and I might be wrong. You've got the fold-out poster, but let's assume that you didn't have all of the information on this, and what you had in the special edition was something like this. So that is the special edition cover, but if I turn it over, you can see obviously we've got some of the production notes here, and we've also then got, if I fold this side out, the production notes from the other side of it. So when you fold this out, you have the special edition cover and the production notes. But if you turn it over, I haven't printed this very well, I do appreciate that, this is a very quick mock-up, but if you turn it over, you have the author's notes and you have the other two covers on it. And what this means is, if you want to have the special edition cover, you can have the special edition cover. Alternatively, you can fold this in such a way that you could have the... Again, I haven't done this very well, this is a very quick mock-up, but obviously a real one would fold better. You could have the era-specific cover. Or you could have the Diamond logo original standard cover. Again, if you wanted, you turn it back over, you've got the special edition cover. Everything here is included on this little slip. All of the production notes, everything like that. And now, because I want to see if I can do this, I'm going to pop this in here. Again, I appreciate that I haven't made this particularly well, so it is going to be a bit of a tight fit, but obviously if this was been made professionally, it would have been better. And I'm then going to pop in as well the poster, and there you go. It closes and it fits. So my final query to Big Finish is, why could something like that not have been included in the special edition production? Again, I appreciate that it's probably all to do with production costs and things like that, I completely get it, but at the end of the day, these special edition discs, and I've refrained from saying this until the final bit, these special edition discs as a set are a bundle of £75. Now obviously that works out at just below, I think, about £9 a disc, so again I appreciate that that's a good deal. I get that, I completely understand that. But personally, I would have been prepared to pay a little bit more to have had that little bit extra in these special edition discs. You know, and I have to be honest, I am a little bit disappointed. I don't want to seem like I'm asking too much or expecting too much, but I don't feel that this is the special edition that people were expecting. I, again, say this with all due respect to what goes into production in terms of cost and things like that. I appreciate that there are limitations, and I want to make it very clear again, this is absolutely no mark against the stories themselves, which are superb and wonderful. I also want to make it clear that this is not going to stop me from buying Big Finish in future, either digital or disc, but as a consumer, as someone who has paid for this special edition, I feel like I need to address these issues constructively. I hope I've done it constructively, because I think this is something which needs to be addressed, and I hope that everything that I've said will be taken on board and taken into account in future should this review be watched. As I said, I am going to do a part 2 of this where I will show off the updated cover when that arrives, and also hopefully have a response in regards to the fold-out booklet as well, which again I'm really hoping is not the rear side of the poster. But for now, that brings to a close another ReviewWho Big Finish. As always, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, favorite, subscribe, share, it really helps me a lot, and be sure to description below for a link to my Patreon. My figure animation is still coming, there will be an update on it coming in future, but in the meantime your donations are greatly appreciated to keeping the channel going and keeping things running, and for the smallest donation you get your name at the end of my videos. I salute you all, and I will see you with another video very soon.